Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well and welcome back to my channel. My name is Toko, and in this channel we talk about a whole host of things. We talk about beauty, we talk about lifestyle, and anything that you can do to improve your life and live the best life that you can. And today's video I will be showing you how I make my unit. So I made this unit using 3 bundles and a closure, and usually I buy like ready-made units, but this time I just, since I had some time on my hands and I've got got my hands on some hair, I just really wanted to create something for myself and just see how creative I can be with it. So if you want to see how we go from 3 bundles and a closure to this, then keep on watching. Right, so let's get started. So I've got my mannequin head and I've also got my wig cap. I bought this off eBay and I really like this particular one. I haven't had one like this before. On the sides here, as you can see, it's got like this velvety fabric on the temples and also on the nape, so which obviously means that it's going to be a lot more comfortable and it's not going to rub too much on your head and on your hairline. So I really like that about the cap. I also purchased the this like the U-part cap. I didn't really see the need to get the full one because I'm going to be using a closure anyway, so I will be cutting out that part of the cap. But for my hair, as I've said, I'm using 3 bundles, and I got this hair from a company called Morici and they are on Amazon. The hair did come pretty quickly considering that we're in lockdown, so yeah. And this is not the actual state that the hair does come in. It comes in a body wave, but because I wash the hair, I always wash my hair before I use it. So now I'm just going to line up my closure with my cap. I usually prefer to have the cap just right on the same line as the cap itself. I don't tend to push it forward or anything. I just have it like right next to the line where the cap starts. And now I'm just going to put the hair out of the way. I'm just going to do a little plait so I can so the hair is basically not in my way. And I'm just going to plait that up and then just tie that up with a clip just to hold the hair out of the way, so we can start putting the just sewing the bundles on. I don't normally start by sewing the closure on. I would explain that a little bit later why I don't do that first. But this is the hair that I'm going to be using, and I'm starting with the 20-inch first because I want to have like that layered effect. So I'm basically just going to line that right at the base of the cap, and I'm just going to use some pins just to hold the cap, to hold the tracks in place, just to make sure that it doesn't move about and my hands are quite free when I'm sewing the tracks on. And actually I like to have my track a little bit further up on the other side, just near the ear tab. It just helps me to prevent the bulkiness at the base of the cap, so I prefer to have the track a little bit further up, as you can see what I've done here. And I'm just really gonna just sew the track onto the cap, and I use the blanket stitch method. I find that this is just so easy for me to do, and it just makes the track so secure as well. I would do a little bit of a closer up a bit later on so you can see exactly what the blanket stitch looks like if you don't know how it looks like. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just sew my first track on and just get you in guys a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep sewing for now. And what I do with my tracks is I never cut my tracks, I always fold them over. I just find that it helps me with shedding. I don't actually get any shedding at all when I do my my units this way. So like I said, I just like doing the fold over method and just making sure that it's absolutely secure where you fold it over, because you don't want it to unravel or anything. So just make sure I do a few little stitches and then I put like a knot at the end. just going to show you how I do the blanket stitch. As you can see, I go under the cap, and then I go under the track first, and then just go through the cap as well, and then I just make sure that I pull the thread really nicely and secure. It just, like I say, just prevents the tracks from sagging and from unraveling. And as you can see, just going under the track first, then under the cap, and then doing the blanket stitch. I'm sure you can see that a lot clearly as I'm doing. Sometimes it's easier to just watch than to explain sometimes, but yeah, that's basically how I do my blanket stitch. And I do this pretty much the rest of the unit this way. I sew my tracks on like this. I just find it a lot neater, and means that the tracks do lay a lot flat on against the cap as well, and I don't really get any bulkiness at the base as well. But yeah, I'm just basically just sewing that through, and like I say, I do that pretty much the for the whole unit. And there I try and do the spacing between my tracks like 1 finger width, if that makes any sense. So yeah, try and leave like 1 finger width right at the base, but as I get on a little bit further up the cap, I do 2 finger widths, so that my wig is not too bulky. So I basically, like I say, just do 1 finger width right at the base, and then 2 finger widths the rest of the cap. So I pretty much just carry on until I get to I finish the bundle, and then as you can see there, I finished the other bundle, and this is the 20-inch. I just tied it up out of the way so it's not in my way, and this is how far I've got up the cap. And then now I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 16-inch bundle, and then I'm just going to put that right next to the bit where I finished off that previous bundle. I don't start another line. I don't know, I just do this, I prefer it this way. So I pretty much just start right where the other bundle finishes, and then I just carry on from there. And now I'm just going to move on to doing my closure. Sometimes, this is what I was explaining earlier on, I don't do my closure first. I like doing it just after I've done some of my bundles first, just so I can position it right in the position that I need it, because once you've sewn it on, you're gonna have to kind of take it all out again. So I don't normally do this when I use frontals. I only do this with closures. And yeah, so now I'm happy with the position that the closure is going to go, and I'm just going to stitch that onto the cap and just making sure that it's as flat as possible. I'm sorry guys, I thought all this time that my camera was recording, but my battery had actually died. But I just basically just carried on sewing from one end to the other and just folding over the tracks. I didn't cut any tracks at all, just doing the fold over method and just carrying on with my blanket stitch. So I'm just gonna carry on sewing until I get to the part where I close the wig with the closure, and then I'll also show you how I do that. So for anyone that makes their own units, you know when you get to this point, it's like celebration time because you can practically see the finish line. It does sometimes, yeah, it does take a long time to get this done, but the thing is when you get to the top is when you really need to make sure that everything is as flat as possible. You can see me here, I was kind of struggling with getting the thread through the cap as well because it's right at the top, but I just wanted to make sure that you take your time when you're doing this part. Just make sure that everything lies as flat as possible. But yeah, literally like this is the finish line. You can basically see the finish line. So guys, we are done. We are finally done, and I'm just going to show you how everything looks right at the top. For me, I think it came out pretty well. It was really flat, and you couldn't really see the gap between the cap and the closure itself. So I was really pleased with it. I was really pleased with the end result, and everything was flat and there was no like bumps anywhere. So yeah, really pleased with it. And this is all done. It's pretty much all done now. So there is the closure there, and that's the cap inside. Obviously, as you know, we have to cut the bit where the closure is. Just make sure that we get rid of that cap bit there. So you just need a pair of scissors, and just be careful with this, because so many times I have actually cut the string, and that means I had to go back and redo that part again. But just to make sure that you're not cutting too close to the thread, and just make sure that you're leaving a little bit of fabric so that you're not like your tracks won't unravel or anything like that. So yeah, just take your time doing this. But I know sometimes it's hard because it's like the end and you're just tired and you just had enough. But yeah, just take your time when doing this. And yeah, I'm pleased with how it's come out, and that's the closure there. I haven't bleached my closure because I'm basically just going to use the powder and foundation method, because like I say, it's going to be quite a small part anyway. And yeah, but I'm really pleased with how it's come out. So now what I'm just going to do is I'm going to pluck at the front, because it was quite bushy at the front, and I just don't like the bulkiness that it had at the front. So I'm just going to wet the hair slightly and just using some water, and then I'm just going to pluck a little bit right at the front just to make sure that it lays as flat as possible. So but just make sure that you don't over pluck, so you can end up with like a bald patches, which I've done in the past. So, and I've learned my lesson. So just make sure when you're plucking, you're doing it very slowly, and you're not just picking in one place. Just make sure you're moving around, moving about. So yeah, that's pretty much the hair that's come out from there, like very small amounts. Just make sure that you're doing it slowly. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pluck the parting a little bit, just a little bit. I know I've basically accentuated using foundation, so I'm not going to pluck too much of it, because I find that the more if I pluck it too much, I end up with like gets bald quite quickly. So just make sure that you pluck a little bit, and that is pretty much it. We are all done. I am really pleased with how it's come out, and as you can see, I did pluck the front a little bit and also the parting a little bit. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's how it's come out. So now I just need to cut out the lace. I completely forgot what it's called. And you just need to cut out the excess lace that's at the front, and we are good to go. So this is the final result, and I'm really pleased with how it's come out. The hair is super soft, and what I did is I did use a little bit of my curling iron just to bring the waves back in. As I explained, I did wash it before I sewed my bundles on, so it did lose this wave a little bit, but it didn't really take me too long to actually curl this up, and it's been holding the curl really well. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's come out. And this hair, like I said, it's really soft. It's so soft, and it will be interesting to see how it performs, as the time goes on. But what I also did in the end is I did sew in a track in the inside of the cap, so if the wind was to blow, you wouldn't be able to see any cap there. But as I explained, this hair is from a company called Morici on Amazon, and Amazon is actually a good place to be shopping right now as well if you like shopping online, because their hair does come really quickly. And it's big, because usually I get some of my hair from AliExpress, but because of all the coronavirus stuff happening right now, it's really hard to get your shipment quicker, so it's taking a lot longer than it normally would. But this came after like 3 days, which was really good, and it wasn't even Amazon Prime, so that was really good for the company to send it out so quickly. But I really love how it's looking, and this is how long it is, and this is how much the 20-inch comes up on me. It's a really nice length, and I did use the 20 18 and 16, and then obviously the closure, so it's got like that layered effect. I'm just gonna turn around and show you the back, just so you can see how it looks like at the back. So it's like that. It's really pretty, nice and long, and it comes like all the way nearly to my waist, which is quite a good length. And yeah, I'm really pleased with how it's come out for me. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching, guys, and if you haven't subscribed yet, then please do so. Enjoy the family, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.